All right. Today we have the state of the city of Manvel. First up, we're going to have Mayor Dan Davis. He's our keynote speaker and a resident of Manvel who is close to his family and community. Mayor Davis has served the public with dedication, first as a city council member and now as mayor. His unique background as a missionary in Japan has imbued him with a valuable perspective that he brings to his leadership role. He combines his public service with a rich educational background, holding a bachelor's degree with honors from ORU and a professional career as a project manager at Earth Solutions and as a licensed realtor. A Yet mentor, a Rotarian, and a passionate volunteer, Mayor Davis is an embodiment of community spirit. Please give a warm welcome to Dan Davis.
Move that up a little bit, grab my notes. Well, thank you everyone for being here today. Welcome to the city of Manvel. I feel honored and blessed that each of you took time out of your busy schedules to join us today. As Carrie said, last year we set the record for a luncheon at 193. Now, Alvin got very close to us. They had, I think it was 190 at their State of the City address last month. So we said, all right, we got to raise the bar even higher. So we have 214 people here today. And what this means to me is that you are invested in the long-term success of the community of Manvel. And I know that means so much to myself, City Council, and every single resident that lives here. With getting started, I want to say thank you and express my gratitude to a few people. Thank you to the Chamber for always putting on these luncheons and giving us the opportunity to learn, break bread, and fellowship. Thank you to the church on MastersRoad. You know, the Bible teaches us a church is not these four walls. It's a group of people. And we have some incredible congregations here in the city of Manvel, such as the church on MastersRoad, Redeemer Church, New Hope, and more, that invest so much into our community, into the well-being, physically and spiritually, and I want to thank them for that. We also have a lot of employees that are here today, city employees, but also had their hands involved in making this day possible. So thank you to Alyssa, Tammy, Brooke, Elaine, IT, and every single city employee that made today possible. I'm also joined by my lovely bride, Erica. If we can give her a round of applause so I can get some brownie points. There we go. I think myself and Mayor Adame and Mayor Cole, we know that we could not do what we do without the support system that we have. And so my wife is a big part of that. So let's go ahead here to the next slide. Earlier this year, the city of Manvel officially updated its mission statement. We also adopted core values. This was important to us because as a city that's growing and changing, we need to make sure that we are a safe and responsible government that represents the values of our past, current, and future citizens. And that's where these 7 core values came from. We've been talking a lot about how do we operationalize these core values? How do we live these out? How do we not just talk the talk, but walk the walk? And as we've been having meetings, council meetings, PD&Z meetings, EDC meetings with developers like Weitzman or Hillwood or Rise, we talk a lot about these because this is the core of what we do. Now, speaking of core values, one of the ones that I have here and you see on the screen is accountability. I think accountability is a very important one. If you guys had a chance to attend the State of the City address for Alvin last month, you heard Mayor Gabe Adame do a phenomenal job presenting about all the incredible things happening within the city of Alvin. Now, at the end, he made a comment, kind of a joke, kind of serious, about that the city of Alvin was going to consider annexing the city of Manvel. Now, I've had a lot of people come up to me since, and they're like, Mayor Davis, what's your response going to be? Are you going to get him back? Are you going to fire some shots? I was talking with my lovely wife about it. She's way smarter than I am. And she said, babe, you know what? You need to be above reproach. When they go low, you go high. And I said, you know what, sweetie? That's great advice that I'm not going to listen to. Because as I thought about why would Alvin want to annex Manvel? I mean, I know they want to be like us so much. It's the reason why they stole our State of the City theme. But as I thought through it, they can never beat us in football, so they probably want our football team and our sports teams. We have a bigger HEB than them, a lower tax rate. We got Chipotle before they did. So I get it. I get it. We have a lot of things that we're working on right now, so maybe in the future we'll consider letting the city of Alvin join Manvel. But we got our hands full right now. In all, oh, thank you. In all seriousness, one of the things I love about not just Manvel and Alvin, but with Pearland, Iowa Colony, with all of our different cities here in Brazoria County, we can joke with each other, we can be competitive, but at the end of the day, I know that I can pick up the phone and I can call Mayor Dame, I can call Mayor Cole, I can call Commissioner Cade, I can call Senator Middleton, I can ask them their advice, I can work with them on things. And despite the differences that we may have, we work together because that's what community is all about, and that's what we represent here in Brazoria County. As was mentioned, we're joined here by a few of our council members. I appreciate them and their service and the diversity and thought that they bring to every single decision that we make. We also have a lot of our leadership team that is here with us today. We believe strongly in the 4 Ps here in Manvel. You have to have the right people in the right position, following the right process to produce the right product. And so if we can move that slide up onto the screen showing our leadership team. There we go. And so we have put the right people in the right position. And every day we are working diligently to establish the right processes so that way each of you see when you interact with Manvel, you see improvements, you see progress that's being made. And my hope is that over these past 2 years, you've seen that. You've seen the culture change at City Hall, where we are a government that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now, speaking of the people, let's talk about community. At our last State of the City address, I presented some statistics and data about the city of Manvel. I'm a data nerd. I love this information. Year over year, we grow at a rate of 13.59%. And to put that into perspective, last year, I was able to announce that we were at 15,999 people. For whatever reason, they couldn't give us that one to say that we're 16,000. Now we're at 19,606 people. We've grown by 3,607 people just in the last year. And keep in mind, this is not even considering the ETJ. This is just our city limits. So that's not including Sedona Lakes, South Fork, or Pomona. Now, Manager Dan and I, we have a favorite number, which is 93. Since 2020, we have grown by 93%. In the past 4 years, we've almost completely doubled in size. That's why what we're going to talk to you about today and share with you guys is so important, because there's a lot of change that's happened, a lot of strain that's been put on our infrastructure. Not only are we responding in a reactive way, but also in a proactive way. Our median home value is up, our average family size is up, our average household income is up, and our median age is down. Now, speaking of community, we believe very strongly in 2 things. That one, you have to provide them the facts and the information to be an engaged, informed constituency. You also have to listen to them. You have to get their feedback. You have to understand what their wants, their needs, and their desires are. It's the reason why earlier this year we launched our Future Manvel initiative. This initiative is a 20-year strategic plan to see where we want to be as a community. Because if you don't know where you want to go, you'll never know how to get there. And so as a part of this Future Manvel initiative, which you can see it right up there on the screen, we have had 9 focus groups. We had a 2-hour public town hall. We sent out a survey that we received almost 700 responses. And if you take that link and write that down, you'll be able to see all the work that's being put into this. This is ultimately going to feed an update to our comprehensive plan and our thoroughfare plan. We want to make this available to each and every one of you. We want to make this available to the community. So that way, as you are investing in Manvel, considering Manvel for future opportunities, you know where we are going and how you will align with that direction that we are heading. That's collecting feedback from the community. We also want to provide information to the community, and we do that through a variety of sources. At the end of every city council meeting, which we have our council meetings 2 times a month, usually they're 4 to 5 hours in length, potentially. You know, we're not as good as the city of Alvin. They get theirs done pretty quickly. We'll get there. We'll get there one day. But we've got a lot going on here in Manvel, so it takes us some time to work through it. And so nobody really wants to sit down and watch a 3 or 4 hour long meeting. So what we do is we record the Manvel Minute as a part of our way to connect with the community. This Manvel Minute is exactly that. It's a minute in length, and it provides the key updates and statistics about it. So you can see me back there, the one for Halloween in my, my inflatable Willie outfit there. So that was a lot of fun. Our public information officer, Brooke, puts this together every month for us. We put those videos out twice, and it's very, very helpful. We also have the Manvel Link, which is a newsletter that goes out at the end of every month, the last Friday of every month, providing key information about what's happening in the city. And you'll see QR codes up here. If you want to scan those codes, it'll take you to where you can sign up and view what we've prepared. There's two other ways that we connect with the community. We implemented a new mass notification system that allows us to target information through text, email, or phone call to residents, such as if there's a water main break, if there's an emergency, there's a gas leak. We want to get that information timely to the community. And our city manager every month sends out an update from the city manager, letting people know what's happening. What is our police department doing? What is Public Works doing? How many permits are we issuing and plans that we're reviewing? Because it's important that as a government, it is not our dollars, it is the taxpayers' dollars. We need to show them how we are being good stewards of the money that they entrust to us. Speaking of planning, along with our future Manvel plan, our Economic Development Corporation is establishing their first ever strategic plan. We have the president of our EDC, Jason Black, that is here with us today. He's helping lead the charge on this, understanding what do we need to do to give our team the tools that they need to recruit the types of businesses that we want to have come to Manvel. You know, we love our donut shops. We've got 3 of them. But what other types of businesses do you want to come? And this is a picture that we put up here of Shipley's that our capital projects director, Wale, took for us. And so we're really looking at, land, there's only so much of it. You can't make more land. So how can we maximize the potential of that land to serve our community? We've made a big focus over this past year on community events, making sure that there's opportunities, not just for people to connect with their government, but connect with each other. We've partnered with the City of Iowa Colony to do the Fourth Fest every year. This was our first year doing that. It celebrates the 4th of July at Freedom Field in Iowa Colony. Every April, we do our Egg Extravaganza, which is an event that gets bigger and better every single year. We also have our Trunk or Treat event, which our municipal court puts on, and I'm very excited about this last item. This year, we're hoping to bring back our Christmas parade. It hasn't happened since 2019. We wanted to do it last year. It rained out. Hopefully that doesn't happen this year. If it does, that's a sign from God saying we probably shouldn't bring back the Christmas parade, so we'll take note. But what we're also doing is a house Christmas light decorating contest. Through the month of November, citizens can sign up to participate and compete in this. We'll plot all of the homes on a map. Throughout the month of December, citizens can drive around, not just citizens, but even y'all in Alvin. I know you guys like us so much. You can come over to Manvel, and you can vote for which house you think is the best. And there's 3 different categories, and we'll recognize them in January and celebrate them for their efforts. This was actually an idea that came from my kids. We were driving around last Christmas, and they were like, "Dad, why don't more houses decorate for Christmas?" So what do you guys think we can do to fix that? And they said, "Make it a competition." Okay, we'll make it a competition, and ran this idea by our city manager and our staff, and they loved it. And one of the things I appreciate about them is all of my crazy ideas, they make those come to life, and I appreciate that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring up our city manager, Dan Johnson. Okay, so I'm going to do the abbreviated version of this for time, but our manager, Dan Johnson, he has been a part of Manvel's administration since 2008. He then took on the role of our full-time city engineer and assistant city manager in 2020, and then we had the opportunity to hire him as our full-time city manager. It was about a year ago today that we were able to hire him. We were just talking about how a year, it's gone by so fast, but at the same time, it seems like it's been more than a year because of all that we've accomplished. He's made many contributions to the city of Manvel. He authored the first design criteria manual, and he's been responsible for its updates. He spearheaded the city's inaugural capital improvements program and its subsequent 2016 update. He initiated the city's first impact fee study, and he's played such a pivotal role in what we've seen in Manvel over these years. He's a resident of the Friendswood League City area. He's a family man, a Christian man. He shares his home with his wife, their daughter, and 3 sons. And so if you'll please join me in welcoming our city manager, Dan Johnson. Thank you.
I should not have come up to the stage so early. Thank you, Mayor. Goodness. There was one other slide that you were going to mention, Mayor, and that's actually our new farmers market. That was something brand new to this year. And I don't know if Colleen's here today, but it was her vision. I think she told us that she had made too many cucumbers one year and was trying to figure out a way to peddle them somewhere. And so she went to Pearland and she went to, I think, Brookside Village and decided, Manville needs a farmer's market. So she has done that, I guess, maybe 3 or 4 months now, right there in the City Hall parking lot. So it's the first Saturday of the month if you get a chance to come by and check that out. But let's go on to the next slide. So I'll catch us up. So thank you, Mayor. And again, thank you, Church on Masters Road, for hosting us today. Manville is, like you said, Mayor, Manville is home to some amazing places of worship. And now that you've got everybody fired up to move to Manville, where are all these people going to live? Well, good news, because we've got some amazing master plan developments in Manville as well. So like we've got Meridiana. Maybe you've heard of that small development of about 3,600 homes. It encompasses both Manville and Iowa Colony. So we've got Meridiana, we've got Pomona, absolutely beautiful development off of 288. We've got Valencia that's just kind of getting started just north of Blue Water Lakes. We've got Rodeo Palms, of course. The Rodeo Palms, if you'll notice, they're still shown, hopefully there, yep, under construction. You're like, how can that be? They've been going for 20 years. Yeah, they still have land. They're still developing amazingly. Sedona Lakes as well, and then Del Bello Lakes right behind the Toyota dealership. So we have several developments to choose from. Sedona Lakes and Pomona are in our ETJ. All the other ones are in the city limits. And then we're actually under construction right now with Avellino, about 140 homes there, just south of Rodeo Palms, just north of Manville Town Center. And Foxtail Palms right next to Avellino. Foxtail Palms is about almost 250 new homes over there. And then we've got 2 other subdivisions in design. Manville Palms used to be called Yanni Palms. You've seen some semblance of that subdivision. If any of my EHRA people are here right now, we're going to get that one across the finish line. I know we are someday. So Manville Palms is off of County Road 48. And that's actually a big one. That's over 300 homes in Manville Palms. And then Rodeo Palms South, that is over 400 homes. So the moral to the story is lots of homes to choose from, great, and all different prices, all different builders. We did just recently see the build out of Terra Estates and Blue Water Lakes. So for a while, it seemed like you either had to have lakes or estates in your name. Newport wins because Newport has both. Newport Lake Estates, right, Ed? So good job, y'all. On to the next one, please. So that's our residential side. Let's talk about some of our capital projects. Mayor Martin's here. Yeah, so, to think that we could have multiple capital projects ongoing at one time is foreign to us from 20 years ago, right? I mean, it was capital project maybe once every couple of years, and so we've got over a dozen capital projects going right now. And I just wanted to highlight 3 of them. The first one being the Manville Police Station, over, good grief, what is that, Chief? Over 40,000 square feet? It's big. It's very exciting. That's our first actual police station that wasn't a hand-me-down building. It's their own building being constructed from scratch, just north of us here on 1128 or Masters Road. And then just a little bit further north from that is the new Public Works facility. Hi, Robbie, our Public Works director back there. They put him back there. Chad called that the ex-boyfriend table or something? Something like that at the wedding? Yeah. Hi, guys. Anyway, so Public Works facility, they're excited to have their own facility as well because they've actually been in a rented facility forever, thanks to Mr. Booth and Enterprise Pipeline down there. But we've been in a rental facility for many, many years. So we're going to have our actual own facility just north of Scott Street where people, it's public works, so you'd think there might be some public interface. Well, there will be. You'll actually be able to go in and, have a waiting room and sit down and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about drainage, or I'd like to, buy a water meter, all the things that you get to do. So that's very exciting. And then the third one, of course, is our elevated storage tank. Mayor Martin, we're actually finally getting our water tower. We put this in our capital improvement plan, goodness, I don't know, at least 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. But if you hadn't seen it, it's under construction on 288. And it's a beautiful thing. It's going to be 1 million gallons of stored water up in the air. There you go, right there. And so we actually put together a team of staff and volunteers to come up with, because this is a big deal. What is this thing going to look like? And so that was a fun little project we wanted to have Manvel Mavericks, okay? Before anybody asked, we wanted to have the Mavericks logo on there. The reason we don't is because we're going to have another water tower right by the high school. So that's the place to put the Maverick logo on that one. So this first one, we're actually going to finally be able to see where Manvel is when you're driving up and down 288. You know, there's the exit. This way to Alvin, this way to Sugarland. Well, guess what? You got to go through Manvel to get to either one of those. No mention of Manvel. So, all right, we'll put up our own sign. It's going to be 1 million gallons of stored water up in the air. So if you're noticing your centerpiece there, I have to give a shout out to Veronica and her team at Alvin ISD, the CTE group at JB Hensler. They put these, yeah, let's go ahead and clap for them. So can somebody hold one of those up for me? All right, perfect. Thank you, Crystal. So you see this beautiful model, 3D model. So we came up with the idea, like, wouldn't that be a neat centerpiece? Okay, it's a little engineering-ish, but, you know, give me grace. But it's cool. We're very excited about it. So we partnered with Alvin ISD, and I guess it was a junior student in the engineering department was able to actually design it, put it through CAD, and they had, what'd you say, 8 printers running at one time, about 7.5 hours to print the bowl itself on top, and then another 8 hours to print the bottom. Did I get that right? So 16 hours per each. So I don't know what all that means, but I'm keeping one of those boogers. So I don't know how that gets sorted out at the end of the day. But anyway, that's our water tower. Exciting. Keep going, right? Thank you, Veronica. All right, now something else that's been completely constructed is our city park. So I don't know if you've ever been to Croy Park. It's a small park. If you go out on County Road 58 and go north, away from New Hope, and you go on Croy Parkway, like you're going into Pomona, there's a little park over to the right-hand side, and we have completely redone the gardens out there. And it is the most peaceful little thing that you can go to. I mean, of course, you can go out there, you have lunch, you know, whatever. There's a nice playground, there's picnic tables, a restroom and everything, but then there's this little garden area where you can go in and, I mean, just like that, just silence out there. And all you hear is birds, and you see butterflies everywhere, and the little brook, like little bubblers and stuff. It's beautiful, so go check that out. We're very proud of that project. That's at Croy Park. All right, so that's residential and city projects. Now, how about some non-residential growth? So this year, amazingly, we had 24 certificates of occupancy for non-residential development. So that's commercial stuff. That's stuff like Chipotle, like the mayor mentioned. That's Grease Monkey. I saw, there they are right there, Grease Monkey. That's Jersey Mike's. That's Next Level Urgent Care, our partner with the city. Shipley Donuts, Tropical Smoothies. And where's Larry? Larry, raise your hand. Where are you at, Larry? Larry, what did we get this year? Did we get a Whataburger this year? We got a Whataburger this year. He's been calling for that for 20 years, so we got that. Thank you, Larry. All right, let's move on to some educational facilities. So we saw the opening of Barbara Bennett Elementary School this year in the fall, and then it won't be too much longer. We're going to have the opening. Dr. Exley won't let me call it Manvel Community College. Okay. Alvin Community College West. Okay, ACC West. So that will be out on Magnolia, which is, we used to call it County Road 59, I guess. So we always called it the Manvel Mansion. So it's the second mansion on the left, I guess, if you're once you pass Kirby out there. So very exciting. They're taking over the whole top floor, right? Yeah, very cool. All right, let's keep going. Next slide. So Scenic City. So this is something very exciting for us. Just at TML here a few weeks ago, we were presented with Scenic City certification, and I especially want to thank Miss Elaine. Where's Miss Elaine? Miss Elaine, would you stand up for me, please? Elaine Graham, ladies and gentlemen, give her a round of applause. All right, now she sat down, and since I have the mic, you can't stop me. So Elaine has been with the city for 22 years. She's my executive assistant, and she has decided to retire at the end of the year. So now we're going to stand up for you and applaud you for all of your service. Thank you, Elaine. there is no sane reason to work in a municipality for 22 years unless you have a servant's heart, which you do, and I appreciate it. I'm going to miss you, but I'm going to move on because I don't want to cry like a little baby again. Okay, so here we go. Public safety, yes, new projects. We talked about the police station. So we got to do the groundbreaking this year. We also got to do a top-out ceremony. If y'all have never done that, that's a pretty neat thing where the last piece of steel that goes into the building, it's got a bunch of cool autographs, signatures from some of our officers, some of the contractor. Actually, Flintco is here. Where's Flintco? Thank y'all. Y'all are doing a great job on our police station, guys. So we saw that this year. We also saw the implementation of flock cameras, which are pretty amazing. You've probably seen these cameras, not just in Manvel. You've seen them all around, and those really help out with everything from theft. With all this new development going on, people are stealing materials. Well, if we can get some type of an identification of the vehicle, especially the license plate, then we can track them down pretty quickly. So it's really been helping us out, even for things like Amber Alerts or Silver Alerts or all kinds of bad guy related stuff. So that's been working out great, those flock cameras. And then we went from having 0 animal control officers to 2. We've got John and Kristen on our team now, which is amazing. So we're very happy to have them on staff. On to the next one. Yep, public safety. So we'll keep going here. And I see Officer Carr Lacey in there, yep, out at Saltgrass. So we've got some very cool community outreach stuff with public safety. Teen Citizen Police Academy. We've got National Night Out, of course, we sponsor with that, and Manvel Police Association actually sponsors the Trunk or Treat. And then since I've got public safety, go back real quick because I'm going to mention one other thing for public safety. As you probably read about, the city of Manvel was a victim to a cyber security hack, and that was bad. You don't budget for that, obviously. It was a horrible thing. We're certainly not the only city that happened to. But I'm very excited to tell you that thanks to Chief Trailer's efforts and Captain Alvarado's team, we got the money back, and it's back in our bank now. So, praise God. So that's huge. So thank you all so much for staying diligent on that and not letting the bad guys get away with anything. Okay, I'm almost done here. Municipal court. So yes, Manvel Teen Court. So we just started participating in this. We go to state, and out of 10 other cities, we came in first. So that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, it's a great job. Great job on that. And then the next one, so I won't, you probably can't see this too well. Go to that next slide, yeah. So that's just kind of a general map of the city. I don't know if you realize this, but the city of Manvel is 40 square miles, okay? 28 square miles in the city limits, but 40 square miles. So just to give you some examples, Friendswood's 20 square miles. Alvin's 25 square miles in the city limits. Missouri City is 30. Sugarland's 43. Pasadena is 45. So Manvel's 40 square miles. I mean, this is a big city. And our public works team is less than 30 people. So we've got our hands full. So these are some of the roads that they worked on this year. Everything from some brand new roads that used to be gravel. Our goal is by the end of this year to not have any more gravel roads. Believe it or not, we're converting those to asphalt. Yes, it's very exciting for those that live off of a gravel road. And then some of it, obviously, repairs and whatnot. So we've also partnered with the county on some interlocal roads, such as Wilson and Dogwood, Tankersley, and Charlotte. So lots of work on roads this year. Go to the last slide for me, and that's kind of a map. One more. There it is. So that's kind of a road map, pun intended, for the roads to be repaired this coming up year. So we will be busy once again. And I think I'm going to stop talking. Mayor, you ready? Come on back up. Thank you all very much for your time.
Maddie, if you can go back one slide real quick. That way we can show this up on the screen so you can see the roads. I know it was dark up there when you were taking a look. So we have an ambitious plan for 2025, finish out this year going into 2025. We're very excited about that. If you have not seen our Manvel Library, we wouldn't blame you. You can drive by it pretty quickly and just pass it on by. And we're working on in the future to have a bigger and better library. But even though it doesn't seem like much, our library and the team there do an incredible job serving our community. one of the things that I am extremely impressed with is not just the Manvel Library, but the Brazoria County Library System has saved Manvel residents over $680,000 in renting out books instead of actually having to buy the books yourself. They do an incredible job serving the community, putting on programs for kids. I know my wife and I have taken our kids to their programs. They do STEM programs, art programs, dance programs. My mom has taken my niece to the programs, and so we appreciate our library and all that they do. And our friends of the library, we actually have some of the board members for it. They've been embarking on a history collection project. As our city grows, as it heads into the future, we can't let our history slip away into the past. So they've been interviewing Manvel residents, interviewing the Booth family, who were the original settlers of Manvel in July of 1857. They recently were able to interview Mayor Martin and Councilman Oplager, collecting the stories and video and audio and collecting artifacts of our history. And hopefully soon, Brian, we'll be able to have that website up and running that people can access it. And then on your way out, Garrett Rossi Knox is going to have a table set up where he is selling a book. He has spent a significant amount of time over the past year documenting our historic trees in Manvel, capturing not just facts about the trees, but the memories and the stories and the lives that have been lived underneath those trees. So stop by his table, check out the book, and I believe that he is working on one for the city of Alvin next, and he's already begun working on that. So very excited to see that and all that you guys have there from a tree perspective. Every city, every municipality, every business has to adopt a budget. Last year, we decided to give a theme to our budget, and it was a budget called Back to the Basics. We need to make sure that when you're building your house, you have a solid foundation, because a house that is built on sand blows over when the storm comes. But a house that's built upon the rock can stand the test of time. This year's theme was building trust. Trust is the key of what we do. If I can't trust you, I can't work with you. We're reading a book called The Speed of Trust, and it gives a very simple equation about it. When you take trust and you put trust into the process, speed goes up and cost goes down. But when you don't have trust, cost goes up and speed goes down. So we're focused on building trust with each and every one of you here in this room, building trust with our partners, building trust with the community. So that way, as we head into the future, that is key. With our budget is almost at $16 million a year now. We have a stipulation that we have to have a balanced budget. Unlike the federal government, we cannot run a deficit every single year because we want to be good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. We want to take that money and invest it back into the community, and so we have a balanced budget. So you can see the breakdown of it, revenue and expenditures. Our biggest allocation of funds right now has been public safety. Almost 50% of our budget goes there. We're putting a big emphasis, as Manager Dan talked about, on public works, making sure that not only do we prepare for what's coming, but we take care of what's existing. Now, just like y'all, if you're an elected official, if you're an employee for a government entity, you probably get calls and people are complaining about their tax bills. I know, I get it, you get it all the time. I've gotten calls, why am I paying $16,000 in taxes to the city of Manvel? So I have to say, whoa. You're not paying that all to the city. Let's break it down here for you. And so our team put together this breakdown of if you're a home in the Blue Water Lake subdivision right off of Highway 6, where do your taxes actually go? Well, the biggest portion usually in Manvel for your tax bill is to the school district. Our school district is expansive. It's the biggest employer in the area. I believe, Superintendent Nelson, you guys now have over 30,000 students that attend the school district. So it makes sense why most of your taxes go to the school district. They have a large operation. Most of Manvel is also within an in-city MUD. So your second biggest portion is MUD taxes. Like my home, I pay $2,500 a year in taxes to the school district. I pay $2,300 a year in taxes to the MUDs. Now, President Ronald Reagan said it best: the most permanent government program is a temporary one. MUDs are supposed to go away. They never really do. And I'm looking forward to working with Senator Middleton to bring about some MUD reform there, because that's a lot that we pay in taxes. Now, MUDs are good. They serve a good purpose. They help out expanding infrastructure. But at times, they're supposed to go away, just like toll roads. But we know how that goes. So then the third biggest portion is to your city. This is probably the same for the city of Alvin, the city of Pearland, the city of Manvel. Then you also have taxes that you pay to the Alvin Community College, to the county, and then we also have our ESD, Emergency Service District. They're the small portion. Yeah, they're giving the little small sign right there. And we have some of our commissioners and the executive director here with us today. Thank you for being here, for all that you do to serve our area. One of the things that I am most proud of as it relates to the budget and taxes is this year the city of Manvel, for the first time in its history, was able to implement a homestead exemption in the city of Manvel. We've always had homestead exemptions, but it's been related to if you're over the age of 65 or if you're a disabled veteran. If you don't fit some of those few categories, you did not have a homestead exemption. Some cities have a 2.5%, a 3%. Some cities have a 20%, like the city of Alvin. They have a 20% homestead exemption. So as we looked at it and said, what can we do? How can we make this possible? We implemented for the first time a 10% homestead exemption. And for the longest time in Manvel's history, now the average Manvel resident will actually see a reduction in the taxes that they pay to the city of Manvel. And we were able to accomplish that while also increasing our level of service to the community. It was tough. We had a lot of discussion about it, but I appreciate council and staff's willingness to dive into it and to see what we could make work there. And I know that for home builders and new home buyers, that's something that they look at. We have a few realtors here with us today, and looking at what you pay in taxes is a big thing. So if we can go to the next slide here. What's that say? Let's see here. It's supposed to pop up. I don't think it's showing anything there. It's a very important slide, I think. Oh, come on. Come on. There it is. Oh, no, that's not the one I'm talking about. It's the next one. I'm sorry. We were supposed to take that out. Okay, there it is. Okay, good. Woo! Man, Dan, we got to figure out what happened. I don't know how that one got in. That's the last Alvin joke, I promise. Jealousy is the best form of flattery, and Alvin's doing a lot of great things. So one of the things that we did work with over this past year actually, was with our Development Services Department, and it is our Camino Permitting Guide. This is now available through the city's website. If you go to cityofmanvel.com, you look at the homepage, you'll see this button to click. If you're looking to get a permit for a special event, for signage, if you're looking to build a residential home, a commercial development, a master plan community, this is a great place to start. It is an interactive software that takes smart logistics into consideration, that as you answer questions, if you answer yes to this question, it asks you this one. If you answer no, it asks you this one over here. And then at the end, it gives you a checklist and key information that you need, so when you meet with the city, you're prepared. The last thing I think any of us want is to sit down with the city, be talking about a project, and either come unprepared, or it's just a waste of everyone's time because you're not prepared, staff's not prepared, whatever the situation might not be. So if we give you this tool up front, get you the information that you need, it makes the best use of everyone's time. We're also looking at integrating artificial intelligence into what we do in plan reviews and plats that are submitted, finding ways that we can leverage technology not to replace, but to augment and to be a resource to our team, so that way we can be more productive and serve each and every one of you in a better way. So I appreciate our Development Services Department for putting together this permitting guide. It's been a lot of work. As we close this out, we have just 2 more slides here. We want to say thank you to our partners and express our gratitude to each and every one of you. Manvel would not be able to do what we are doing here in the city without you, without your love, without your resources, without your commitment. There are so many people that make up what those logos are on the screen, and so many more logos that we couldn't fit. But please know that we see you, we thank you, and your contributions, big or small, mean the world to what we're doing here in Manvel. And in closing us out, there's a few ways to stay connected to the city. There's some information up on the screen for you to take a picture of. It is always an honor to stand here in front of you for our State of the City address, to look out in this room and to see so many smiling faces and people that love and care for our community. It's an honor to serve the city of Manvel, and it is a privilege to work alongside each and every one of you in making what we do possible. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to Carrie, and we'll move on with the program. Thank you.